Mysteries!
Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of More on Math, Minecraft Mysteries. My name is Mr. Moore, and I'll be your guide. And you may notice that in this episode, there's a bunch of white writing on the screen. That's because I've pressed F3, and it tells me all sorts of technical data. And one of the things I'm looking at is my coordinates. So on the 7th line down, it says XYZ, and it has 3 numbers. And the third number on that XYZ line is 206.431. And that is a decimal number. And my question is, how do I say that number in proper math speak? And how do I write that number in expanded form showing the values of each digit? That is my mystery. In fact, that's today's Minecraft mystery. And whenever we have a mystery, we go quick to the math cave. The math cave. Ah, splash. Here is today's Minecraft mystery. 206.431 is my Z coordinate when I'm standing just inside my base's front door. Write 206.431 in word form and in expanded form. Pause the video, see if you can follow these instructions, and come on back when you think you've done it correctly. Okay, welcome back. 206.431. I want to write that in word form and expanded form. That sounds tough. And when math gets tough, we go to the magical whiteboard. Woo! Push to activate. Pow! Woo! So let's make a list of what we know. The Z coordinate just inside the front door of my base is 206.431. We want to figure out how to say that number in actual word form using, official math language. And we also want to figure out how to write that in expanded form. So this really isn't a problem-solving situation as much as a communication situation. So let's start with word form. In word form, there's a few easy rules we can follow. For clumps of numbers, just say what it looks like. At commas, we say the period name. That's a chunk of 3 numbers is called a period. So we usually would say 1,000. That's the kind of numbers we usually talk about. We might say million. But you could say billion, trillion, depending on what you're talking about. At the decimal point, we just say the word and, not point. And if we're talking about a decimal number, the very last thing we say is the last place name of our number. So let me show you how this works. 206.431. So let's start with the first rule. It says, for clumps of numbers, say what it looks like. So let's look at this first clump here. It looks like a 206, so I would say 206. At the decimal point, I don't say the word point, I actually say the word and. And at this next clump of numbers, again, I go back to rule 1, and I say what they look like. Well, they look like a 431, so that's what I would say. Finally, because it's a decimal number, in other words, it has some decimal place values, I use rule 4, which says say the last place name. So I'm going to look at this last place name and just name this place. So this 1 is in the thousandths place, so I just say the word thousandths. So when I'm all done, this number is officially called 206 and 431 thousandths. Notice the THS in the thousandths. That THS reminds me that when I'm talking about the 31 thousandths or the 431 thousandths, that is a part of a number or a number less than 1. So thousandths are totally different than thousands, which are bigger than 1. Thousandths are smaller than 1. All right, so now let's talk about our rules for writing numbers in expanded form. And it's not really a list of rules, it's more just sort of a pattern that we follow when we write our number in expanded form. And our pattern looks like this. I just start from the left side of my number and I write the first digit I see, and then I multiply it by the place it's in. And then I close my parentheses, put a plus sign, set up a new set of parentheses, put the next digit, and multiply it by the place it's in. And so I just keep following this pattern, the digit times where it lives, plus the digit times where it lives. Now, we have to remember our place value names in order to do this, so I usually give myself a little cheat sheet like this. Blank, 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 comma, blank, 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 dot, blank, blank, blank. And I label these blanks because these are my place values. I use capital letters for my place values 1 or bigger, so ones place, tens place, hundreds place, thousands place, 10,000s place, 100,000s place. I usually don't go beyond that. And for my place values less than 1, my decimal place values, I actually use fractions to label them. So these are the tenths, this is the hundredths place, and this is the thousandths place. So now that I know or remember the names of my different places, I can now look at my number, 206.431, and start plugging in digits and place values. So starting from left to right, my first digit is a 2, and that 2 is in the hundreds place, so I say 2 times 100. And now I'm going to add it to the next digit that I'm going to put in a set of parentheses. And notice it's a 0. Well, I can ignore zeros. I don't need to say there's a 0 in the tens place because it's not worth anything. It's just a placeholder. So I'm going to skip it and go to the next non-zero digit, and that's a 6, and that's a 6 in the ones place. So I'm going to say 6 times 1. And now I'm going to add it to the next digit times its place value. So the next digit that's not a 0 is a 4, and that's a 4 in the tenths place. So I'm going to say 4 times 1/10. And I'm going to add the next digit. The next digit, oh, I'm running out of room here. The next digit is a 3, and that 3 is in the hundredths place, so it's 3 times 100th. And I'm going to do the last one down here, plus that last digit is a 1, so it's a 1, and that 1 is 3 spots over from my decimal point, so it's in the thousandths place, so I'd say 1 times 1,000th. So this is what the number 206 and 431 thousandths would look like in expanded form. 2 times 100 plus 6 times 1 plus 4 times 1/10 plus 3 times 100th plus 1 times 1,000th. That's not the only way to write expanded form, but it's probably the easiest way. And so our mystery's been solved. And that solution is, our number in word form is 206 and 431 thousandths. And our number in expanded form is 2 times 100 plus 6 times 1 plus 4 times 1/10 plus 3 times 100th plus 1 times 1,000th. Thank you for joining me for this episode of More on Math Minecraft Mysteries. Join me next time as we tackle another marvelous math mystery in the world of Minecraft. Leave a comment or a question below, and feel free to subscribe. And remember, if you're not confused, you're not learning. Bye-bye.
Math is fun. Math is fun.